the flipper. The Silver Devil. What's crack-a-lacking? We got some Tupac cracking. That's good. This morning we're going to finish with doing the undercoat, the gesso coat. Let me adjust my shit. The gesso coat for the tarot box project. All right. And we're going to talk about necromancy a little bit this morning. I'm actually covering that subject in a class that I teach for beginners right now. And I think that there's some stuff that, it'd be cool to talk about with you guys. So, so that's what we're going to mess around and do. All right, let me get a cigarette crack in here and then we'll get started. Oh, somebody's here. That's great. All right. Hey, what's happening? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's a party. All right. Now you can check this out real quick. All is well, brother. Thank you for coming, by the way. And thank you, Legend Archer. What's cracking, man? It's good to see you again. Thank you for coming, bro. Today, what we're going to do a little bit of, while I babble about necromancy, the basics of necromancy, what I think is the basics of necromancy anyway. We're going to do a little bit of coating on this wooden box that is going to be preparing it for the acrylic coat that we're going to put on top of that. So you're going to need some gesso, and you're going to need a brush. This is the kind of brush I suggest you use with this, guys. This is probably about the right size. You don't want to make it too big. You want to keep, I'm going to be able to show you here so that you can see. And you're going to want to use 2 coats. So we're going to do 1 coat and we're going to let it dry. Good morning, audience. Thank you for coming. We're going to do 2 coats. And it should be okay. So I'll set you guys up so you can see. And we'll go from there. All right. Let's make sure you can see. Yep, you can see. All right. Necromancy. Let's talk about it. A basic necromantic operation that I think every magician should know is how to respect their ancestors. Cosmic Tofu, what's cracking, bro? It's good to see you. How to respect your ancestors. There are a lot of ways to do this. And I think probably the best way is to create a little shrine near your altar, but not on your magical altar. Don't do this on your magical altar. That you can have pictures of different relatives, like a little mantle, like a mantle in your living room is perfect. Now, you can include pictures of relatives, and I really highly suggest that initially, at least, you focus on relatives that you had good relationships with in life, okay? And the information I'm giving you right now, by the way, does not come from my personal opinion, but it comes from a 6-month mentorship that I did under the auspices of Duke Murmur. I'll be citing works and citing concepts from works such as Martin Coleman's Communing with the Spirits. That was an excellent book if you haven't read it. All right. Now, to create this little shrine, you're going to want to put like a photo, okay, of a relative. I'd say start with 1. Black and white is fine. An obituary is fine if you don't have a picture. And, oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay, we're back. I guess something happened. I don't know. Your best bet is to take an obituary or a photo of this relative. Get a little ceramic bowl like this big and fill it daily with a small amount of rice and give them about a shot glass of cold water. And when you give this, you intentionally say, this is for my relative and my relative only. That will stop other spirits from taking the chi energy out of it. It's only for your relative. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Now, if you empower your relative by giving them this chi energy and this nourishment every day, it will grow stronger and stronger, and the connection between you and it will flourish, and communication will begin to start naturally. If you're clairaudient, it will be usually like something you can hear. If you're not, it'll be in dreamscape or it'll be intuitive. Now, you and this relative can make a partnership if they are interested and if you are interested. The relative can be taught how to accomplish tasks for you in the spirit world. And you can accomplish tasks for your relative, unfinished business here in this world. Now, I don't like to engage in those kind of relationships with my relatives because I just don't think, hey, Mark, I just don't think it's appropriate. But some people like the idea, and that's cool. I'm not going to down it. I'm just saying it's not for me. Another idea that you can do, oh, and every day burning a white candle for them. That helps them a lot too. Because you guys don't understand, or some of you understand, to be a spirit consumes energy in the spirit world. And it needs to find sources of energy to draw from because it doesn't have a physical body anymore to take energy from. Like its body is gone. So when we give these things or burn ancestor money, it helps the ancestral spirit a lot. And that's really good for it. Another thing that I think is really necessary for a magician to learn how to do is how to communicate or pass messages from the spirit world to, let's say, a bereaved relative. Somebody just died and they didn't get to say goodbye. That is a really important part of necromantic practice, in my opinion. Uh, yeah. So, okay, we've got the undercoat here. We're going to keep on with this undercoat. And, all right. Now, I don't want to get paint everywhere, so I'm going to try to do this carefully. Hey. All right. Here we go. Now, to pass messages, it's really not that hard. What you need to do is establish psychic contact with the spirit first. A magician can do this by focusing on an image or a name or an obituary, taking a deep breath and reaching out mentally or spiritually. And reach out until you feel something connect with it. Verify that that's the entity in question, and then you'll begin to receive impressions. Like I always do this. I always say, okay, I see a man and I describe him, or a woman and I describe him. And I make sure that the relative tells me that, yes, that's my relative. That's exactly what they look like. If they don't say that, then it's not the right one. Keep moving. Now, the first thing that that relative is going to tell you, and it's going to tell you this every time, I promise you, tell so-and-so that I'm okay. That's the first thing a spirit says. Almost always they say, I'm okay. So if they're not okay, then there's another set of problems that has to be addressed. Anyway, all right, that's the idea, though. That's the basic idea. Let me finish this up here. Does anybody have any questions from the audience on this idea or any experiences that they would like to share? Just go ahead and type her in, and if I can answer it, I will. And if not, then I'll ask Aerobus, and I'm sure he can do it. So, all right. This is going to be a kick-ass tarot box, you guys. This is going to be great. I can't wait for this to be done. I'm going to guard this and ward this with different protective symbols to keep away the impure magnetism of other people as they pass near my cards or other spirits. This is going to be a kick-ass tarot box. So, and this isn't hard. What I'm doing right now, guys, this isn't hard. So, all right. I'm going to put this over here to kind of dry off for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Back to necromancy. Okay. Passing messages from family members to spirits is not hard. Okay. Usually they just want to say goodbye. Let's talk about this though. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's healthy and I don't think it's appropriate. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Oh, it absolutely can be. Here's how. This is how you know this. This is how you know this. Does it mean something to you, personally, you? And if the answer is yes, then yes, it means something. And if the answer is no, then no, it doesn't. But what matters is, does it matter to you? Because when a spirit reaches out like that, it's going to try to use language that you know, that you understand, and it's going to try to be speaking directly to you. So I would guess yes in this case. That would be my guess. I try not to do a whole lot of interaction with my ancestors or my loved ones that have passed. And I had a wife who passed away when I was 35 years old, and she was 38. That killed me. That was really hard, guys. It took me several years to get over that. And I could do, and now I have the ability to really interact with her or evoke her or do all that stuff. I'm not going to do that because I have a life to live here, and she has a journey that starts in the spirit world, and we'll meet up again. I know we'll catch up with each other, but I don't think it's healthy for people to get stuck on or be in love with a ghost. I know she wouldn't want that, and I know I don't want it for myself, and I don't want to cater to other people doing that either. I don't mind passing a couple of messages that's healthy. That's cool. That helps people get closure. But if it goes beyond that, I think it's a mistake. That's just my opinion. And I'm not talking to anybody personally here. I'm just giving you my opinion on the subject of necromancy. That's all. Just to be clear. So. Yeah. Good question, though, Sino. I like that. That was a good question. Okay, another thing that a magician should be able to do with necromancy, and I'm not a specialist necromancer. I'm going to be very clear about that. I am not a specialist necromancer. I specialize in wealth and dignities magic. That's my forte. All right. I'm competent with just about every kind, but I don't focus or specialize on that. I prefer wealth and dignities. That's just me. That's what I'm naturally really good at. Um, but I think everybody should know some necromancy. Helping a spirit pass, sometimes due to trauma and sometimes due to religious beliefs, a spirit does not want to make the transition over to the spirit world fully. It doesn't want to leave the etheric world, which is the mirror copy of this world. It doesn't want to leave that. It wants to stay there. The problem is that that entity needs to eat. It needs energy. So it's going to get it from table scraps, eating table scraps, drawing the energy out of food or water that's left out, or they're going to become very predatorial and go after car accidents and things like that to draw the vital energy out of freshly spilled blood. When that starts happening, things go down a really dark path. That's bad. You can avoid all that by just making the transition and going over. Once you're in the spirit world, you're going to be fine. A lot of people are scared to make that transition because they feel like they're going to be judged or sent to hell. Guys, I know you've heard this before from a lot of other magicians. You're going to hear it from me again right now. Hold on, my collar's popping. Look, spirits that are in hell, when we say hell, let's be clear, like fire, brimstone hell. Okay, that's Golakog. that is a part of hell. That's not all of hell. That's just a really fucked up part. Okay, if you are there, it's because you want to be. If you are there, it's because you believe you should be. That's why you're there. Nobody's waiting to punish you after you die. I mean, you will be your own judge. You will, and that's the worst part of this. You know everything you did and didn't do, and you will be your own judge. If you lived your life as best you could, okay, for the most part, you made some mistakes. You did your best, okay. You got nothing to worry about. You're going to see your ancestors when you pass. You're going to see your family and friends, and they're going to lead you home, and it's going to be okay. That's it. If you're lost, you can get a psychopath guide like Murmur or Mercury or Archangel Raphael would be another one. These entities can help guide you to where you need to be. So you don't have to worry about a thing. So when a spirit is worried about or hesitant to make that journey over, you can simply encourage them and say, hey, man, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. And if you explain it to the spirit, most of the time, they will listen to you, because they're not happy with the existence that they're living here anyway. And they do want to move on. Death is just a springboard to another set of adventures, guys. This thing doesn't stop. I mean, we don't just turn into worm food. There is something else after this. And for the most of us, it's not going to be bad. Look, hell, let's talk about hell, all right? Originally, when we talk about hell, we're going to look at the Judaic religion, all right? There was not a hell. There was a place called Sheol, Sheol, Sheol. Now, translates roughly to the Greek concept of the underworld. It is a dark and listless place where spirits rest and sleep before they are called to move on. The moving on is called Gilgulim, and that is the transmigration of the souls. Okay, that's a different deal. Hell with fire and brimstone and shit, that wasn't for us. That was a specially prepared place for wicked angels. Okay, you had to really fuck up to go there. It wasn't for me and you. It was never intended for us. Um, the damage that we can do in this life is pretty small, actually, to be totally honest with you guys. Most of us. Uh, a wicked, rebellious angel can destroy galaxies if they want. I mean, they're really, really toxic, corrosive, and destructive. So that's why a special place was prepared for them to save and preserve this place. Now, if you want to confirm that or you want to read more about that, then you need to read Thomas Carlson's Kabbalah, Qliphoth, and Goetic Magic. That is a fucking fantastic book. Fantastic. It's going to cover the concept of Universe A and Universe B. It's going to be within the first 60 pages that you get the most out of the book. It's a really good book. Really good. Okay, moving on. Another necromantic practice that I recommend people at least know about is how to bind a shadow or a shade, or how to destroy it, or how to run one away. The reality, guys, is when we go to a hospital, when we go to a funeral home, when we go to a graveyard, if you have any clairvoyant or clairaudient or spiritual ability, you are going to shine and stand out to those spirits that can see you. If they know that you can hear them or see them, they will follow you home if they can. Okay. Why? Because they either want to drain your energy or they want to try to get you to do something for them because they know you can hear them. That's bad. Don't accept that. Don't tolerate that. Don't cater to that. That's bad. Banishing is the best way to handle that. And I'm going to tell you the right way to handle that is to get one of the necromantic spirits of the Goetia is how I do it. I call Duke Murmur and I ask him to remove this entity, the shadow or the shade, and bring it back to the underworld. And boom, it's like that. Do not entertain those kind of entities unless you want to bind them to an object and then command them later for other purposes. But that's more advanced than I wanted to cover in this class, just to be honest with you. All right, that's that. Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Aerobus? Aerobus wants to answer a couple of questions if you guys are in the mood. As in, like, answering questions. So if anybody wants to go ahead and put one out, Aerobus is right here. Oh, check this out, guys. I got Aerobus a house. House of Aerobus. Whoa. Perfect. Anyway, okay. If anybody has a question for Aerobus, he's here. Maybe not. Okay, that's cool too. I think that's about all I got for you guys today. It's 18:30 right now. 18 minutes 30 seconds. I'm gonna wait until 19 minutes and then I'm gonna close out. So if there's anybody typing right now, they have a few more. Oh, here we go. Okay. During World War I, a lot of horses died. Is Aerobus connected to these horses in any way? Okay, let's talk about why Aerobus uses the image of the horse, or why a Goetic spirit has animal affinity. Good question, Tofu. Good question. If you look at a horse and what people say and think of a horse, it's loyal, it's dependable, it's trustworthy, it's smart, it's steadfast, it has endurance, it has feelings and intellect. You could say all those things about Aerobus too, couldn't you? Yeah, if you know Aerobus, you'll definitely be like, oh yeah, that's Aerobus to a T. Okay, now here's another one. And he rideth in a great black bear, and speaketh in a hoarse voice. Okay, why would those qualities be said? Because the spirit is really aggressive, large, strong, like that. Those are ways of saying what the spirit's attributes are. Okay, like the animal forms are metaphorical. But oftentimes the spirits take those forms because they're most comfortable expressing themselves that way, and we expect it. So That would be the answer to that. The answer is no, Cosmic Tofu. He's not connected to them like he is the soul of every horse. No, no, no. Doesn't work that way. No, he wants you to know that. It bothers him when he sees that, but what your focus should be between now and the end of the year, March 21st. Yeah, sure. I'll ask him right now. Aurobus, let's answer this question here, bud. All right. Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right. Show me, Prince Aurobus, what he needs to focus on. What would be the most important thing for him to focus on? Okay, Aurobus has two answers for you. One is the most important thing to focus on, and the other is the thing that you will gain the most value from focusing on. He says the two are not the same thing, and a distinction needs to be made. And this is the same shuffle that I taught you in my video library that I have put out here on YouTube. I do it the same way that I show you how to do it. So, all right, let's get her cracking. Your answers. What is the most important thing, and what is the thing that you will draw the greatest value from? The most important thing is to be victorious. The most important thing is to be successful. The most important thing is to do your very best when it comes to career or areas in which you receive approval, acknowledgement, or acclaim from other people. And I suspect this is work. Now, the most profitable thing that you can put your attention on, and the thing that you can gain the most from during this time, is not accepting defeat financially, not accepting material loss, not accepting bad news from other people. Other people are going to say, no, I don't think that idea is going to work. That's a bad idea. That business won't work. Blah, 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 blah. You need to completely disregard that shit. Like, oh, okay, thanks, man. Like, and just completely continue to do what you think is the right idea, because you have the right idea and they don't. So Aurobus wants you to know that. Anybody else? Any other takers for a question from Aurobus? He is here and he's happy to help. Anybody else? I'll give it until 23 here. We got about 40 seconds. So if anybody has another question, you can feel free and ask right now. You're welcome. He's happy to help you. Okay, that's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up for today. I'll see you next Wednesday morning, and we'll finish up this. We'll start actually painting this tarot deck box, and we'll do some protective glyphs on it, and we'll go from there. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. It's a good subject to talk about. I appreciate it. Feel free to leave me some comments if you want to. That's cool. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. I'm going to be on live with my assistant, Kirill, on Saturday night, 8 p.m. plus 8 GMT. So we'll see you then, too. All right, peace and chicken grease. This is Mike P., the Silver Devil, the Dark God of the Clippo.